Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Rebecca, and some people call me Crafting Journey. I recap live trials. Day 30 of the Chad Daybell case. The testimony has been completed, and it is not even noon here in Wichita, Kansas. The prosecution opened up this morning with an argument about a potential witness returning for some more rebuttal, someone we've already heard from on rebuttal, but they want to bring them back. And then we had 3 very quick witnesses, and that's it. So the judge excused the jury for the day. They will come back tomorrow for closing arguments. So the rest of the day will be business. They have to go over the jury instructions, and they have to review all the evidence, make sure, everything that they want in evidence is there and it's all in order, that because it's all going to go back to the jury. And then they'll spend the rest of the week deliberating, or will they? I don't know. Anyway, so what did we hear this morning? The first thing was the prosecution wanted to bring back Janice Olson. Janice Olson testified, maybe it was Friday. I don't know if it was Thursday, Friday. No, it wasn't Friday. We had Friday off. So Thursday. Testified on Thursday that she was a friend and coworker of Tammy Daybell, also of Emma Daybell Murray. And she testified that she heard Tammy Daybell say that she increased her life insurance because Chad wanted her to do that before she retired. So apparently over the 4-day weekend, she remembered that when she heard that, she was at lunch with a whole group of other people that also heard it. So she wanted to come back to testify to that. But she was already excused, and she continued to watch the trial. And there's so many things wrong with that. You can't even, no. Just no. The defense attorney was like, no. First of all, I don't personally think it's necessary. We already know that the statement, we've heard the statement, qualifying it by saying, oh, all these other people heard it, and now the defense can't go and interview these other people because the trial is over. So the judge said, no, we're not bringing this witness back. No. Okay. So the next person on the stand was the medical examiner, the state of Utah medical examiner, Dr. Christensen. Dr. Christensen, we've heard from him before. He conducted the autopsy of Tammy Daybell. He was present at the exhumation, and he was present and participated in the autopsy. As you recall, it was done by a fellow who also testified, but he was asked a lot of questions about what he reviewed in preparation to render his opinion on the cause and manner of death of Tammy Daybell. And he talked about the importance of reviewing all that. And this was to rebut the defense's medical examiner, who had come in and said that it could have been asphyxia, it could have been an arrhythmia, it could have been a seizure, it could have been any of those. So the manner of death should have been unknown. And as you recall, she had not reviewed anything other than the autopsy photos from the scene. She never talked about the pulmonary edema. She, none of that. And he said, that information's necessary when you are conducting an autopsy, especially when you've ruled out all this. You've conducted an external examination. There was no trauma, nothing that was evident that would explain her cause of death. You do the internal examination. All the organs are normal. There's nothing you can see that would explain her cause of death. Just like when you go to a doctor that you've never been to before, they don't treat you in a vacuum. You have to fill out your medical history. You have to answer questions for him. The medical examiner, he doesn't have the benefit of all that information, so he has to get it from another source. So yes, he said, I do that in all the cases. I get a lot of things and I review them. And that's what he did in this case. And he said, it's not to confirm something that I already believe, because there was this whole issue of confirmation bias, which is where you've come to a conclusion, but now you're looking for evidence to support that conclusion. He says, no, just the opposite. We didn't have a conclusion. We just needed more information to reach a conclusion. So he talked about, again, that poisoning and drugs was very unlikely, that seizures was very unlikely. And I think during his direct examination for the prosecution, he said highly unlikely, but here he said not likely. It's not likely. That was the adjective he used. So seizures, arrhythmias, drugs, poisons, not likely. So what does that leave? Asphyxia, because don't forget the pulmonary edema. So there you have it. Now, on cross-examination, he was asked by John Pryor, well, did you talk to Tammy? Or no, obviously he didn't talk to Tammy. She's dead. Did you talk to any of the children? He went through each one of the children. No, I have not talked to any of the children. So when he requested more information from the police department, which is where he got his information, this was brought out on redirect. There was no information about the kids because the kids didn't give interviews. They refused to talk to the police. So they didn't have anything to give him regarding what the family said. Also, he touched on sleep apnea. I don't know if you recall, Emma had said that she had recently been diagnosed with sleep apnea. Maybe mom had sleep apnea. He's like, no. He says the rare occasions they see sleep apnea deaths, there's usually some comorbidity that goes along with it, including obesity, heart disease. She didn't have either one of those. So, no, we're not going with sleep apnea here. Then the next person on the stand was former retired Rexburg police officer David Stubbs. He is the gentleman that did the Google search warrant and got all the information and then analyzed all the information. This was really interesting. Listen to this testimony.
Detective, what is on the screen?
So this is just what it would say, or what it did say when opening up that particular folder under the chad.daybell@gmail.com. States does not have records data available to export from the data range 1/1 of 1970 to 12/31/2019. So there was nothing available to give to us.
And to be clear, normally when you could click on that page, there's an Excel spreadsheet.
Yes, if there was data available, there would be an Excel spreadsheet showing different locations and whatnot.
Mr. Stubbs, through your training and experience, are you aware if a Google user can request to have their location data deleted?
Yes, that is a possible feature.
How does someone go about doing that?
There's various ways you can do it, depending on the type of service you're using. But with Google, such as Google Maps, you can actually go into your user account and request that your information not be tracked, number one. Number two, you can request that all past data be retracted from their records as well. You can do that in the Maps account. You can do it in your Gmail account. You can do it in your phone as well.
Thank you. In your review of the chad.daybell@gmail information, did you find a record of any such request?
Yes.
What did you find?
August 24th, 2019, a request was made through the Gmail account of chad.daybell to have all location GPS history deleted from the account.
And may I publish?
Yes.
Detective, do you have a pointer up there?
Yeah, if I can. Oh, yep, I sure do.
Can you point out the title of that page?
Confidential and priority would be the excuse me, the heading of the tab.
All right. And then in green at the top of the page, what does it say up there?
Chad Daybell at gmail.com. Deletion history, location history.
And then in the body of that document, what do you see of interest to your investigation?
So this is what was of interest to me is the request to have deleted all location services. This was done, would have been 8/24 of 2019. Should be noted that the deletion range here goes back to 1970. Customarily in a lot of computer.
Judge, I'm going to object. This is going to go beyond, it's non-responsive.
I'll ask a question.
All right.
The 1970 date, is that date familiar to you?
It is a date commonly used by computer formats where they start recording, if you will, computer activity. 1970 1/1 is a common date for a lot of different formats that they start.
And again, what date was this request made?
This would have been requested August 24th, 2019.
Detective, we had earlier on the screen States Exhibit 107C, the search history you spoke about.
Yes.
When you get that search history, can you actually click on the items that were searched?
So if you recall, the short answer is yes.
Did you click on those items that were marked in States Exhibit 107C?
Yes.
What did you see when you did?
So it took me to the same web pages that would have been viewed by the user of this account. When you go to that, it has specific instructions, detailed instructions on how to turn those services off on iPhone device.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wood.
So, right there's your explanation right there. January 3rd of 2019, right after Chad meets Lori, a couple months after he meets Lori, he's having this affair. He looks up how to delete. Well, we don't know if it was him. Somebody using his Google account looked up how to delete information, location services information from your iPhone. Now, it was brought out on cross-examination that he don't have an iPhone. He has an Android, but Lori has an iPhone, and Lori is still married to Charles at this point that this search is going on. But it also shows you that Chad had, if Chad is the one that conducted this search, that he has the wherewithal to know that, hey, you can delete your local, or you can, you can delete your location services. So let's see how you can do it on your girlfriend's phone. Yeah. Then Yeah. Also, August 24th, 2019, someone deletes all of his location data history. Now that is before the deaths occurred and before he's probably in the backyard, but it also tells us he knows how to go back and delete it. Now, and he knows how to turn it off. So it was brought out on cross-examination. Well, isn't Tammy Daybell, aren't you aware that she was the computer guru in this family? Why would she be looking that up? Why would she want to, was she having an affair? Why would she want to look up how to delete your location data service information? I don't know. Interesting. So then we had a morning break, come back from the morning break. Final witness, Ray Hermosillo, who's now a lieutenant, Hermosillo, with the Rexburg Police Department. He might have been a lieutenant back then. Anyway, I don't know. Now I'm waiting. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, here comes the jail phone calls between Emma and her dad. No, we didn't get to hear them. There weren't any. What? I was waiting for the instructions from Dad on telling Emma how to testify. What? We don't get to hear that? I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Instead, they brought Hermosillo back to talk about why he was driving by the house. And there was like 15 different explanations. He's got a dry cleaning business in the area. It was an active investigation and blah, blah, blah. So that's why he was driving by. Also, to refute something that Emma had said. What was it? I don't remember. Oh, now I remember. I'm just going to play it for you because it's so ridiculous. Emma testified that she saw Hermosillo at the gym, Ray Hermosillo. Remember Emma, the Chad Daybell children? They have this they think it's a conspiracy by the police, that the police were out to get their dad, and then she runs into this guy at the gym. Listen to this testimony.
During the investigation, did you learn who Emma Daybell or Emma Murray is?
We did.
And who is she?
The daughter of Chad Daybell.
Lieutenant Hermosillo, did you ever see Emma Murray at the gym?
I did one time early on in the investigation, yes.
And when you say early on in the investigation, would it have been before the discovery of the children?
It was.
When you saw her at the gym, did you approach her?
No.
Did you talk to her?
No.
Did you ask her questions?
No.
Did you go and work out by her?
No.
Have you ever driven by the Daybell property?
I have, yes.
Did you drive by it as part of this investigation?
Yes, I did.
Do you have other reasons that you would sometimes drive by that property?
I have several reasons. We have our dry cleaning business that's a quarter mile down the road from the Daybell residence. I also have family that lives north of the Daybell residence. But most importantly, I think the reason I was driving by the Daybell residence was it was a very active investigation at that time.
Did that include driving by prior to the children being located?
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
Did you drive by prior to the location of the children's bodies?
Yes.
And did you drive by sometimes after?
Yes.
Did you drive by 2 times a week?
No.
And again, when we talk about driving by that property, you said that was a significant piece of the investigation.
It was.
And can you remind us what was found on that property?
JJ, Vallow, and Tylee Bryan.
Do you know when Tammy died, where she was located?
I do.
Where was that?
Chad Daybell's bedroom.
So all 3 at the Daybell property or in the residence?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Yeah, I didn't talk to her. It's a small town. I went to the gym. It's a very small town. Yeah. Anyway, so no phone. That was it. We're done. no jailhouse phone calls. I'm very disappointed. I think I've already said that. Anyway, so that's it, guys. Where the testimonies concluded, I will be covering the I will be covering the closing arguments tomorrow live. So put it on your calendar. Now, there's a time difference between here and Idaho where this is occurring. I want to say it's 2 hours. I could be wrong. But tomorrow morning, let's just say tomorrow morning, we're gonna go live. I'm gonna go live. So, and you'll have a lot of options. There's a lot of people out there covering this live. But if you'd like to see me and watch me craft and while I'm listening to closing arguments, I will also recap them for those of you who don't have time to listen to anything lengthy regarding closing arguments. There will be a recap of those as well. So have a great rest of your day. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. I know I did. And I'll see you tomorrow in Crafting and Crime Daily. Bye.